Good morning, guys. We're going to talk about our next step in using our kernel essay that we created yesterday. We are now going to develop our kernel essay into a rough draft. So we're going to use yesterday's kernel essay and add specific details to develop each sentence into individual paragraphs. Copy and paste your kernel essay here on this slide. So it's very important, like yesterday, to make sure that you are trying to complete everything on this slide deck because it will lead into what we do tomorrow, but also that you're not deleting anything on this slide deck as it is very important information. It might be an interactive slide like this one where you are copying and pasting or you're typing in, you're adding details, or it may be slides that are giving you examples and information on what you need to do to add to your kernel essay. Okay, so this first slide, you are just copying and pasting your kernel essay from yesterday here. Slide number 2 really shows us the theme, setting, and character information that was added into the first example sentence for our kernel essay text structure. Okay, so I learned to be grateful for my friends when I borrowed a friend's old car and had to be rescued from a dangerous situation in the backwaters of Arkansas. Okay, the red represents the theme, the green represents the setting, and the pink represents the characters. We are going to develop this into a paragraph, and we do that by adding. Okay, we are going to add description of where and when you were in your memory. We are going to add to our character development by using STEEL as our characterization guidelines. So remember, characters are developed by either speech, thoughts, effects on others, actions, or looks. And then we want to develop and add in some foreshadowing so we can really get the reader involved with what's going on in our story. So this is how Miss Notario developed her first sentence into a paragraph. Okay, I learned the importance of gratitude when I was a cocky 19-year-old visiting some friends at my old college in Arkansas. At that at that time, I no longer attended school there, but I had dropped in for a visit and wound up borrowing the 1973 Volkswagen Bug belonging to my best friend Arden. Arden was generous and wise, and I knew she felt worried when I asked to borrow her old Bug, partially because it was old and not fit to be driven long distances, but mainly because I was an overconfident city girl from New York who didn't know how to drive stick and wasn't used to driving the backcountry roads of rural Arkansas. Arden said straight out that this isn't the best idea, Laura, but I was determined to drive a few hours to visit the youth group I had mentored back when I was going to college in the state. I dismissed Arden's concerns and thoughts. What could possibly go wrong? It's just a little 2-hour drive in a beautiful Arkansas countryside. Little did I realize how grateful I would be for my friends before the weekend was over. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the first example slide to just remind us that throughout this slide deck, it's very important for you guys to pay attention to the colors, because in the examples, the colors, the highlighted colors, are going to kind of reveal to you where Miss Notario added in pieces and kind of give you ideas on where you can add in pieces too. So red represented theme, green represented setting, pink represented characters, and the blue represented the characterization, the development of the character, and then yellow represented foreshadowing. So just looking back at those yellow pieces, what do you think is going to happen to our main character? Okay, that's how you want your piece to kind of come together. So the next slide, what you're going to do is you're going to think about your first sentence, where you were, your topic in general, and you're going to kind of, what's your theme? What's your setting? Your characters, okay? This is what is your kernel essay sentence number one? And then you are going to develop that into a paragraph, okay? You are going to move on through this slide deck and you are going to continue to develop, adding your conflict and sensory details. You're going to continue after that by adding in, after those first two paragraphs, at least a sentence of paragraph one and the first sentence of paragraph two, a transition sentence, a transitional sentence, and write the sentence that connects the two ideas together. So you're going to highlight the transitional words or phrases and punctuation used to connect the two ideas. An example, paragraph one, last sentence, little did I realize how grateful I would be for my friends before the weekend was over. And then the transition sentence, but I could learn that important lesson. However, I first had to discover myself, just how much, for myself, just how much I needed my friends. Okay, so paragraph two, first sentence, it was beautiful sunny morning, the crisp autumn afternoon when I drove off with my concerned friends waving in the background. Okay, so that transition sentence in blue with the highlighted transition word and the punctuation connects the last sentence of paragraph one and the first sentence of paragraph two. It connects the two ideas together. The trick here, you have to have completed your paragraph one and paragraph two before you can create a transitional sentence, okay? Then you are going to continue on developing the rest of your kernel essay sentences into paragraphs. And as you go, each slide tells you what you should be trying to add, okay? Adding to the characterization, adding more sensory details. We do want you to highlight in the color what those sentences are, the same way that Miss Notario did so, okay? So that you know kind of in your head, hey, I did add that. That is over here. Okay, that's what you're doing throughout this slide deck. Make sure that you are paying attention to the example slides and to the example paragraphs, because as you are going through, we are asking for different things. If you look here at the last question in our text structure, the lesson learned, we want to look if you could add a piece of irony. Can you add a truism? Okay, so those are different from the first couple of paragraphs. And then the last slide, and this is the theme throughout, is you adding those transitional sentence, word and phrase and punctuation into the previous two paragraphs before. Okay, so very important things that you need to pay attention to. Pay attention to the instructions on the slides. Pay attention to the examples and the develop by adding information. Okay, we want you to also highlight and color code so that you can keep yourself accountable on what did I add? Is this piece actually characterization? Is that this actually sensory details? And if not, you can go back and refine that, okay? This is what we're doing today in class. If you guys have questions, please email your teacher, but we look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. And as always, have fun with this. This is your Kernel essay, your personal narrative, okay? You guys have a great day.